All right, now it's time to add more definition to this lady, and I'm going to be using that using this dark color here. It's important to do like the darkest color and then later add this medium color if you need to blend it out more, just because you want to start dark in case you make a mistake, so then you can fix it rather than have to then erase all the light work that you've done. So I'm going to start over here. And for this, I'm going to be using a lot of pigment and not as much water, but I'm still going to blend it out. And then I'm going to go in these little areas here and add some more of that definition that I'm not going to add lines to. So this really helps it look realistic, because I'm obviously not going to outline every single tiny detail in this face, but I still want to express that depth, which is why shading with watercolor is so great, because it can help provide some of the information that these lines are not going to. And that's really all that you are doing, like with art when you're shading, is, you know, you're providing information to show where it is the darkest, where the light is hitting, and making it 3D really makes it more realistic. Even if like you don't want to go for something hyper realistic, it just adds an edge. Like, I don't do hyper realism, like no one's orange like this, hopefully, but even though my pieces have a lot of fantastical elements and the features are exaggerated, I still need to make sure that that proportion is right and that the shading makes it look 3D. So that's how I really bring these pieces to life. Because I can do hyperrealism. I've done hyper-realistic portraits, but I don't know, they're just not as fun for me. I like doing more fantastical things a lot more than I like hyperrealism or drawing something like a still life. Because I have a background in art, I've done so many still lives and, you know, figure painting, so I'm glad that I have that foundation, so I know how to draw and I know how to shade, but it's fun finally using it in my own way, in the mixed media way that I like. So I definitely want to add a lot of dark to this, but I don't want to add so much that it takes away from the nice light peach that most of the face is. So I just want to add this super dark color in the areas where the face is going to be the darkest. So over here and stuff. And around the nose. So this piece actually didn't need a ton of like super dark details because it already is so light. So I'm just adding minimal stuff in here. And what I'm really going to try to focus on for this piece is the highlights. Which I'm going to do using a lot of this original peach color down here to kind of block back in those areas, but then I am going to add some white to this in a minute. So see, we're lightening back up some of these areas, and now I'm going to add some of the white to this. And I'm really only going to use this in the places that really need that light detail, so I'm going to use it as sparingly as possible. And make sure I blend it out too, because the last thing you want is like a super crazy highlight popping out of somewhere. So these are actually only the real areas that need it. A little bit underneath her eye. But yeah, wow, this was, there was actually a lot I could do with this piece in the beginning when I laid down those areas, so I didn't have to do as much work this time when I came back for that second round. So now I'm gonna work on adding some more definition to the lips, which is scary because I don't want it to bleed. This is always the most stressful part. And add some black. And I'm gonna add this darker color. I might brighten up the top area of here later if I'm not happy with it. I'm just not really sure how entirely I want to proceed with the lips. So that shows that even someone like me who does a lot of art, you know, sometimes I doubt myself too. And I have a hard time, you know, with like certain things, and lips are definitely really hard. But now I'm just gonna add some pink for the background. I feel like this would look the nicest. And there really isn't gonna be that much background in this piece, so. Because I pretty much filled it all up with a portrait. And of course I still have to decide what color I'm gonna make her hair, so if you have a suggestion, please comment and let me know, because I kind of don't really want to do orange. I want to do something like super cool. Not like cool colors, but like something interesting. So maybe I'll do, I don't know, like something yellow? I don't know. See, I need help. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is add some sparkle highlights to the lips. And of course, the second scariest part of this whole thing is adding the eyes. And I think I'm gonna go with this in-between blue color, between blue and green. But I gotta make sure that there's like no water on my brush, just pigment. So that it doesn't bleed. And voila, she is finished. So please comment and let me know what color you'd want to see her hair as below, and let me know if you have any other suggestions about this piece. I'm really excited to start on it once it's dry, of course, and I'm going to be a normal person and actually let this dry rather than hair dry it. So there we go.